Well, hello and welcome, and that favorite part of the day where you just sit back, relax. We bring the issues and just debate it, unlike no other. Well, today we're looking at so many things. Tax force taking over. Well, allegedly MPP tax force just barging into every establishment and claiming ownership of it. That's on the table. Martin Amidu says the 5th and the 6th Parliament were extremely corrupt and hopes that the 7th Parliament behaves much, much better. Also, the final batch of ministerial appointment has been released. We want to find out what my guest think about it. So there's a plethora of issues on the table to be discussed. My name is Nana Ansakwa, the 4th Chief of Akwemodumasa, and also your favorite current affairs talk show host. When I come back, I'll introduce my guest and we start talking. Then move. Well, thank you very much for staying. My guest on the show today, sitting right next to me, is Ahmed Ibrahim, MP for Banda and NDC, if I may say. So now in the minority. You're welcome.
Thank you, man.
First time on the show, so we're going to find him our usual bottle of schnapp. You know, it's actually no, now it's Casapreco. We've changed to made in Ghana, so now we don't find schnapps. Now it's Casapreco. And then I have Mr. Ziblim as well here, who's no stranger to the show. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Nana. Good to be with you again.
Yes, always good to have you here, Dr. Ziblim, ED MP for Gushegu. And he's now looking very MP-ish, you know, doesn't look like a lecturer anymore.
Well, I don't know about that.
See, but I'll start with Ahmed Ibrahim. Ahmed, I want you to comment on this takeover where we hear, you know, allegedly MPP party stalwarts barging into every establishment and claiming ownership, and the police looking on. The PRO says that the IGP has issued a letter that next Friday, I mean, that's like a week from now, he wants to see a report. I'm thinking, well, what about tomorrow or by Sunday? I mean, this is a security issue, but I'll leave you to comment.
Yeah, my brother, before I make a comment, let me go straight ahead to say a very good evening to our cherished viewers.
And I'm sure people on Banda will be watching.
Precisely, man. People view your station very well. And even though today is the first day I'm coming on this show, I come as for the AM show in the morning.
Okay.
It's a regular program that I used to come in 2016. But for 2017, this is the very first time that I've appeared here. Yeah. To begin with, I believe it is a very unfortunate incident that is happening in the country. And if not managed well, this pocket of violence as a result of takeovers and those things can metamorphose to something else. And you know, there is a saying that kind that Edijawa ne as well. And to it, it means the back ends with the head. You understand? The leader of the country, the executive authority of the country, there is a legislation governing all those kind of things. You don't forget that the last parliament, just on the 8th of the last parliament, we enacted a law concerning how a smooth transition should be. It was in anticipation of some of those pockets of violence that are emanating at this time. That was the main reason why the Presidential Transitional Act was enacted by the 6th Parliament of this country. So if there is a law which we all resolve to say that because we want to eschew all the bad happenings in the past, you know, you cannot use one wrong to justify another wrong. There must be an end to wrong things. That is what will lead to a progressive society. A progressive society is made up of good people, and good people make up a good society. So if we say we want to make a law to regulate our behavior, we know change has come to stay. Whatever has a beginning has an end. Therefore, if today I'm here, tomorrow I may be there. So once change has come to stay, we witnessed what happened in 2001. We witnessed what happened in 2008. As a result of that, we witnessed what happened in 2012. Don't let us go back to some of those things. Let's say never again. As a result of that, the Parliament of the Sixth Republic, the Sixth Parliament of the Fourth Republic of Ghana enacted a legislation or a law which says that these are the processes that the nation should go through. And all those things are there, expressly clear. Even though it was on the neck of the elections that we did all those kind of things. So we did most of these things in a rush. That notwithstanding, all the provisions and those things are known unto all those of us who were in the parliament, and especially the press corps and all this. So they were made clear. Everybody in those in both political parties, both minority, majority, this 7th parliament, it's a straight division between the minority, the MPP and NDC. These things are known unto us. So when we do all those things, we incur a cost in making sure that these laws are put in place to regulate you and I, our behavior. And we still go back to some of the excesses in the past, just with the mere expression that, oh, it happened and therefore it must happen. So what change have we gone for? If you say you are changing, you change the status quo for better. So if you change the status quo and you are still now picking all your bad excesses that happened in the past, so is there the need for the change? No, there is no need. Then that aside, you know, we are a minority. It is our responsibility to make sure that we help the majority to govern well. There's a saying that if there's a bad prophet of doom who always prophesied that disaster should occur, he also would have a taste of it. So it is our prayer, we the minority or we the NDC as a minority, we are praying that we have to help the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, who in this case is His Excellency President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency President Nana Akufo-Addo, to make sure that his government is able to maintain peace. This is biblical and our biblical and religious responsibility. Not only praying for the peace of the country, also behaving to make sure that we work towards attaining the peace of the country, so that you will live well, I will live well, my brother will live well. If there is no peace, can there be a political party? So it is our honest responsibility that we all work towards maintaining the peace. And therefore, when you love peace, your leniency should not be taken to mean that you are coward or you are weak. You can't take somebody's leniency or somebody's weaknesses, somebody's peace-loving attitude to mean that the person is weak. You've just gone through these elections. Even though we lost, we managed to secure as high as 44.something%, which is almost half per se. So if you have such a country where there's just a sharp division, 53-44, and you think that you can suppress or oppress the 44.4%, and they also say that, oh, if you, who is the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, if you are taking the law into your own hands, then I will also respond to that. Can there be peace? No. That is why we are calling on the Commander-in-Chief to emulate what Professor Mills did in 2009. You remember Professor Mills said he declared a father for all nations.
Sure.
You think that it was in the interest of who? You and I.
But with your press conference this afternoon, was it a little bit insightful?
Let me tell you, my brother, myself, yesterday, Mandrava was beaten mercilessly for no apparent reasons. And you know what happened? This invisible forces guy entered the Prestige workshop in Parliament of the State House. So if invisible forces are able to penetrate into Parliament and enter the Prestige workshop and are towing cars, they were not driving them, they were towing cars. I'm a leader in Parliament. Mandrava saw them and he asked them, oh, why are you taking the vehicles to? That's what they beat him and seized his phones. Beat him mercilessly to the noisiest point.
You reported it?
He just came. I was interviewed on radio. And you know, I'm somebody who always, I don't tolerate nonsense. Therefore, I always shout him down whenever he's at high emotions or some of those things. You are not a security man. If people are towing government public cars, parliament, there's security in parliament. You either report to them, you don't go and say, oh, why are you taking the vehicles to? Meanwhile, you are not the one that the vehicles are at your custody. So these are something. So he knew when he came, when he tell me, I may not take it like, but even if I wouldn't have said anything at all, as for the beating, I would have condemned it or I've reported it to them. So my boss asked me, Ahmed, I learned your driver was beaten before I came to ask what happened. He said, oh, master, my Gota phone was taken away. I was beaten. I was standing there with OBM driver. The invisible forces were towing the government officials' cars at the Prestige workshop. You know, Parliament, when you enter there, opposite the chamber block, we have the banquet hall. Just in front of the banquet hall, we have the Prestige workshop. That's where we send government castle cars, Flagstaff cars, and all this. That's where we send them for maintenance. So they were towing them. And as a result of that, there is where sometimes our cars too are maintained. So when that happened, that's why my driver, he was standing there with OBM driver. When they get, they say, oh, this guy is the MP, driver for the MP for Banda. He's NDC man. They beat him mercilessly. So that is some of the pocket of violences that we have enumerated. Then my deputy, Honorable Comfordoyo Ganza, her party car was seized, together with Honorable Nilante Vanapwe. Even the police commander who went there for these cars, it was difficult. They said, these are the cars, but the kids will not give you. Honorable Doyo had to go and plead before these people could give him the keys. I said, oh, madam, if not you, like, wouldn't have given you the keys. What the commander is doing, he was playing. Like, wouldn't have given them to you before they release. So these are some of the things. These are pocket of, if it is happening to somebody, today you say it is nothing. We have moved from 2001. We've moved from 2009. 2009, it wasn't easy. And that's why Professor Mill said, look, I will be a father for all. We were expecting same statement to come from President Akufo-Addo. Just, if you will not practice that, you say it. For your supporters to know that, for we the orphans, to know that at least the commander-in-chief is for all of us. But when such a statement... At
the moment you feel it's not for you.
Oh, if they beat your driver, can you say you are not beaten?
Let me bring Doctor in here. Doc.
Well, thank you
Excesses coming from your side.
Thank you so much for having me again. And let me first of all say good evening to your esteemed viewers and the good people of Gushegu constituency, of course. I'm very disappointed in my senior colleague here. First of all, let me, from the onset, condemn what is going on. I don't think anybody, not from the MPP side, would condone the act of violence and vandalism that we are seeing all across the country. But I'm disappointed in the leader here because he seems to sort of personalize it, you know, that it's about the characters of Nana Addo and John Mills. Prof. Mills, may God, you know, bless his soul, was a good man, a gentleman, and yes, he did utter those words, "I'm father for all." But I'm not sure where my senior colleague, and I think I saw him in Parliament when Parliament convened at the Black Star Square, and whether he actually listened to the speech that was delivered by Nana Addo. The president on Saturday delivered a speech that was so inspirational and a speech that was so unifying, and he alluded to some of these things that we are experiencing, and he said that he was calling on all people to begin to see ourselves as Ghanaians, as citizens of this country, without the political colorization that will force you to go and see your neighbor as an enemy. And so I don't see what any leader can do beyond uttering words that will inspire people and move the country forward and bring us together. Now, what is going on, I think, for me, is a question of institutional weakness that we have in this country. And I expected the leader, as somebody who is a leader in parliament, to be worried about that and be focused more on that. What can we do as a people, as parliament, to resource the police, to build and strengthen the police institution, so that even if there is a change of government, it doesn't matter whether from NPP to NDC or the other way around, the police will stand strong and they will ensure law and order. Government is a continuum. Even before Nana-Addo was sworn in on Saturday, the NDC was in power, right? The president, the former president, turned off office, ended 12 midnight on the 6th of January. From December 7th to 12 midnight, there were violence going on, there were vandalism going on. Will you put it at the doorsteps of former President Mahama? No, it was the lack of policing, ensuring law and order. And so for me, I will call on my brothers on the other side that as Parliament, we should look at the transition law and see what we can do to strengthen the police institution, empower it, so that even if there is this euphoria after elections, the police will still be there to act and ensure law and order. It baffles me that in their press statement, they were making reference to Flagstaff House. There were policemen at the Flagstaff House when the incident occurred. And so how could the police be so... No, I think your press conference made mention of some attacks on some...
The policeman was beaten.
A policeman, yeah, at the Flagstaff House.
Yeah, the policeman was beaten.
Were they not policemen at the Flagstaff House? Are they not state security at the Flagstaff House? And that's the point I'm making, that for us as Parliament or as parliamentarians, we should be more worried about what can we do so that it doesn't matter whether Nana-Addo is in power or whether John Mahama is in power, that in this country, at all material time, we will have a president who can give orders, who can give directions, who can give instructions, and the police will act. And they don't even have to wait to act. We have an IGP. The IGP is supposed to be the one who commands authority and commands the moral authority to make statements which will go down to the lower policeman to ensure that it doesn't matter whether you are in a transition period, it doesn't matter whether you are 1 week into a presidency, the police institution has been an institution that is there at all times. And so, yes, and look, if you were to look at, point to Nana-Addo today, the president, His Excellency President today, and you made mention of President Mills uttering those words, Father for all. Even beyond those words, what happened in 2009, it's always, we are sad when we go back in history to make cases. But even after President Mills uttered those words, people were killed in broad daylight, actually in front of police station. So Father for all, now please, Father for all, and yet it didn't stop. So it's a question of the police institution ensuring that people were running to the police station for safety. And in front of the police station, they were being killed. Houses were burnt in Tamale. Policemen were there. Nothing happened. These incidents happened after President Mills said that he was Father for all. So let's come back and look at what
beyond
we
the
can
statements.
do to build, yes, to build what we can do. I'm coming. So as a leader in Parliament,
I don't know the angle my honorable colleague is coming from.
Well, what he's saying is that
You remember, you said President Mills said
was Father for all, which is very good.
When
people
such incident happened in President Mills' time, a party organizer, to be precise, in the Eastern region, who said he was doing this in the name of NDC, was arrested by the police, sent to court and sent to jail. That was Father for all for you. Can you give me an instance of just one single soul within this time that has been arrested?
Oh, well, maybe you didn't monitor
I have given you answers. My driver has even been beaten, and I've given you even inside Parliament.
And I monitor prime time news.
And you are saying that Parliament should go. Parliament is a legislature.
I monitor prime time
has
news
oversight
today.
responsibility. Parliament is not the commander. The Speaker of Parliament is not commander-in-chief. He will only do that when the president is not there or the vice president is not there. The chairman of the police council is neither the speaker, is the vice president of the Republic of Ghana. And I'm saying that the commander-in-chief is the one who should act. You only have oversight responsibility. You don't just come. Yours is to make law.
Parliament,
to make sure that you
to
make sure that they do their work.
Parliament
when you say that we should, you and I should rather take it upon ourselves Now we should be making sure we strengthen institutions.
Ahmed,
you and I, we should make
Ahmed, let me come in here.
Private members' bill is not entertained in your parliament.
Can you come down
so
and listen?
when an executive doesn't bring a law, you cannot even go ahead to make a law.
Okay.
And you are saying that we should strengthen the back ends with the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces.
And I'm telling you that this evening the police made announcement that they arrested people.
What
the
we
police have arrested people.
Precisely.
And so you are saying that the arrests have not been made.
With less than 1 week.
Less than 1 week.
And those things are happening.
Ahmed, let me come in here.
How many people were arrested at Gbagbolese?
Ahmed, let me come in.
Doctor,
one sec. I'll bring you in. Ahmed, if we skip the IGP and go straight to blame the president, aren't we giving the police a scapegoat?
Who is the chairman of the police council?
No. But
who is?
No. What does the chairman of the police council got to do with crime?
You see, that's what the chairman of the police council, the minister in charge of interior and the transitional team. Do you remember that today, as I'm talking now?
You think you should go all the way to the top?
Do you know that today?
So when your driver gets beaten, the chairman of the police council.
Do you know that today, as we are sitting here, the minister responsible for local government, even though he's not been vetted and sworn in, he has written letter and revocated all the appointment of MLDC. He has acted. So I'm expecting same to happen in the Ministry of Interior. Same to happen in the Ministry of Defense.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you, but you're not answering my question. No. What I'm saying is, if a crime occurs and there are policemen, what do they just wait for the chairman of their council to? That's where I'm trying to.
They don't have to wait, but I'm telling you that there is a minister. So when those things happen, if you don't want it to even to be extended to the head, the representative at the ministry, sector ministry, should have acted by now. The peace and security of the state is within your ambit. You should make sure that just as the minister for local government, even though he has not yet been vetted, he's not been sworn in, he is acted. She has acted. She's written a letter terminating all the appointment of MMDCs in the whole country. We expect that the minister in charge of national security, the minister in charge of interior should have also been acting to make sure that we have the peace of the state. That's what we are all asking for. If you want to use one wrong to justify what happened yesterday, there's a saying that you find the way because it hasn't happened to you. You can sit here and say, when such event perpetrators can even enter the precinct of parliament, do you think that we are safe? Even entering the prestige workshop and towing government vehicles. Invisible forces is not a state.
So why are the police so handicapped?
I will play it with my honorable member to just behave honorable for a minute.
I'm behaving very honorable. You see, when you start by saying that you are attacking my person, is it somebody should just sit quiet for you to attack my person?
Your person?
Oh, you said
your
opening statement, unless you didn't know what you were saying. You said, I'm disappointed
the way
in the honorable member as a leader.
Yes.
And I'm saying that we have a commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces.
So
we have a chairman of the police council.
Can you allow me to talk? Please.
No, when you attack my person.
Okay, let me bring Dr.
I should allow you to attack me.
No, let me bring.
I should allow you to attack me.
Maybe my senior colleague.
No, because you are not attacking your followers. You are honorable because somebody voted for you. If that person is attacked and you say, I should sit down quietly for my supporters to be attacked, for my driver to
be
to the point of death,
Ahmed,
and you say, I should come and sit down and be quiet.
2009.
No.
Ahmed, let me bring Doctor in here. Ahmed, calm down, let me bring.
You see, at the end of the day, the police administration acts without interference. Politicians should not be seen to be interfering in the work of the police.
You are saying politicians are. The vice president is a politician, but he's the chairman of the police council. The minister of state is a politician, and he's in charge of all those things. Who are we talking about?
So they should take the work of the IGP. So what is the work of the IGP?
They should act.
What is the work of the IGP?
The IGP, together with the minister, just if the minister for local government is acting, the minister for interior must act.
Who appointed the IGP? This current IGP, who appointed him?
Who appointed? Government of Ghana.
Oh, government
of Ghana. No more.
So
there's somebody.
The government of Ghana is no more.
The government of Ghana. You mean who appointed him? I said there was a government of Ghana who appointed him, but that is no more. There's still somebody as a government of Ghana.
Well, I think why don't we put pressure on the IGP?
See,
the pressure should be put on the commander in chief. There's somebody. The back ends with the commander. He's asking who appointed the IGP. You are telling that somebody appointed the IGP, and because today the person is not there, if our supporters are being beaten, we should be quiet. Is that what you are telling us?
Who appointed the IGP? And the police is a government in continuum. So you don't have to wait for Nana who made
Ahmed, let us
appointed the IGP. If they are following you with their
let's take it. Let's do it. Ahmed, let's do it. Let's take it one step. Ahmed, let's finish. Ahmed, calm down. You will get to your turn. Calm down. Ahmed, I have viewers. I have viewers. Calm down.
In 2009.
I was even at the independent
when they were following this president.
Who came to did they enter parliament?
What
did they enter parliament?
What statement did you make in parliament?
Okay, guys. Okay, hold on. Hold on, guys.
We arrested our party activists.
Guys, hold on.
We are arresting people today.
Dr. Zibling, 1 minute. Give me a minute.
We all need to see what will happen.
Give me a minute. Ahmed, give me a minute. I think now we're not respecting our viewers. It's just becoming too hectic. Let's just take it one at a time. Let's calm down.
Fight issues, it's not easy.
Have water.
Our supporters
Ahmed, calm down and take a sip of water. Ahmed, take a sip of water. Take a sip of water. Thank you very much. All we're just trying to find out. Yes, we know somebody employed an IGP, somebody employed the police, but they employed them to do a certain job. And so we're just trying to find out why is it that the police is so handicapped. Let me bring
beating even the police. The seat of government, a policeman was beating his shirt, everything torn.
And what happened?
They said they are in government.
Nana.
Yes.
Let me just say that the MPP administration has come with good promises.
Ahmed, water.
To deliver.
Water. Please.
To deliver
to the people of
Let's all have a sip of water.
We know that for all the good things that we intend providing for the people of Ghana, it can only happen in the context of peace, law, and order. Precisely. And I think the first priority of His Excellency, the President of this Republic, and the Commander-in-Chief is to ensure the safety and security of each and every Ghanaian without regard to whether you are MPP or NDC. And I think that my senior colleague here should appreciate that first. So before you even blame the Commander-in-Chief, you have to appreciate that he works with institutions. He is an individual who gives orders, who goes home hoping that those orders will be obeyed. We have a Commander-in-Chief who has the police, the IGP, the Chief of Defense Staff, and these are people who he trusts, who the government of Ghana trusts, that they have the men and women who will be out there to ensure safety and security of every individual. And so I will reassure my senior colleague here that what happened, and I started by unreservedly condemning any act of vandalism that is going on. So I can assure him that given what we experienced yesterday and all the grievances that was made at the press conference, I think from today forward, the IGP is taking note. I'm disappointed that you said they are waiting 1 week to get reports. I think the Commander-in-Chief, the President, His Excellency, Nana Akufo-Addo, will take command tomorrow and instruct that actions are taken to ensure that regardless of who is, whose ox is go, they should be brought to order. The law must take its course. But my reference to Parliament...
But unless Nana comes from Flagstaff House himself with a handcuff to come and arrest these people, he still needs to rely on the police who are not acting. So where do we go from here?
I started by saying that we should begin to build institutions, especially the police service. One of the unfortunate things of this country is that the first transition was done in 2001. We experienced unfortunate things. 2009 was the second time that we had an opportunity to improve on what happened in 2001. We didn't learn any lesson. Unfortunately, 2017, we are going through the same things. So I think that it is for all of us, MPP, NDC, to sit back as Ghanaians and learn and draw lessons from these ugly experiences that we've been through and say that never again, come the time for transition, for change of government, will we allow our citizens, right? And these are Ghanaians, to go on rampage and do the things that you and I will not be happy and be proud of. There are people watching us as Ghanaians, and we had a beautiful ceremony on Saturday, and everybody applauded Ghana. And so it is shameful that we would, as a nation, be, talking about people going about lawlessly and, trying to take things that don't belong to them in an unlawful manner. So I will call again on us as citizens to pray that come the next opportunity, our police institution would have been strengthened in such a way that they don't need the president, His Excellency, to come out, as you are alluding to, with handcuff and arresting people. He's just one individual who has to believe and trust in the men and women who are being paid by the taxpayers' money to ensure law and order. And so for once, I will pray and call on my brothers from the NDC side to just come now. I understand where they are coming from. We went through that in 2009. In 2009, we were shouting on the top of the roofs, and they even demanded that we should provide names of people that we think were involved in what happened at Agbogbloche and other places. Names were provided by the leadership of Parliament, and he was in Parliament then. And nothing happened. As we speak now, nobody, not a single soul has been brought to the law courts to be prosecuted for that. And these were people who were murdered broad daylight in front of a police station. And so for me, it's not a question of I'm MPP, you are NDC. Let's look at the police. Let's look at police institution. Let's look at what we can do to improve it so that tomorrow, if you are in power and I'm out there, I shouldn't have cause to blame you for not making sure that the IGP is doing his work.
See, the truth which we are all running away from is that most of these institutions have a lot of pilfering, which whoever it is, the toll booth, the toilets and everything, the monies there don't necessarily go to state. It goes to whoever it is that's manning it. And at every given time, foot soldiers for whichever running government control it and keep the money. Until we automate these things, and make pilfering, nearly impossible, it's not going to stop. Because all those people who are there now, I'm sure as I'm here hosting the show, nobody can walk in and say, well, Nana, it's our government now, so get off the show, let me come and do it. Yeah, but there are areas where you can easily go and say, look, my government is in now, so you go, and they happily leave. Why would they leave? Because that's the same way they came in. And so that's how I'm trying to find out, how do we solve that issue? Because that's the truth.
Yeah, my brother, the automation issue is one. Then secondly, if you look at it critically, you remember in Ghana, we have that master-servant relationship. When orders and utterances are coming from big men, those on the grassroots always take cue from that and act. That is what has worsened what we are witnessing now. And brother said, not a single soul, not a... Our Eastern Regional Youth Organizer, when he spoke on air and said, look, we are not stopping, we are doing this. If the president, the following day he was arrested by the police, sent to court, sent to cell, sent to court, sent to jail. A regional youth organizer in Eastern Region, NDC. We did it to ourselves. Today it has happened. Within this week, Sir John was on air. If you know you are NDC man and you are sitting there, get out before we get there. Sir John, a whole former general secretary. So it becomes something that you are like empowering the grassroots to do it more. And you know, in Ghana, we have a system when people like Sir John, he's been a general secretary of the largest opposition party before. He has controlled power before. These invisible bosses, he has supervised them before, but there are people he was working with. And when they tried ejecting them from the office, they were invisible forces against bulldogs and all this. You know what happened. So if these things are coming from such personality,
but in what context? In what context did he say that? I really doubt if Sir John said go to people out.
He didn't say that. He said, like he put it in the context that you put it. He said they were there when our government came. We took it from them. Our government has gone. The same way they took it is the same way they're taking it. It was on that context that he was talking. He was being interviewed. Then the host questioned that, you are a lawyer and you are talking. Do you say they should take the law into their own? Oh, I'm not. as for the, I'm not saying that they should take the loan on the other, but I said if you are NDC mine and you are there, go before they get there. All those kind of things. In fact, it was not a comfortable statement coming from such personalities. If we all tone down, you know, the security forces are also human beings. The police, Ghana police is one of the best in Africa, and you cannot doubt it. You cannot doubt it.
I just
we
want
know,
to find out why
but when we, the politicians, you've just come to pass, oh, the NDC should not coerce them not to jubilate. They should go on the jubilation. They should go on the takeover. And when we politicians speak like that, I am a member of parliament representing people. They look up to me. When I open my mouth, whatever utterance that will come out with is being monitored. Oh, Honorable says this, and that's the direction. Because a leader must lead. A leader gives direction. So when those times come, and you and I are becoming to think that the responsibility of maintaining peace is not only for the police, but it's a shared responsibility. Collectively, the police can work. But when we think when the police are on the way of on the path of even prosecuting, arresting people and those kind of things, and we are also not performing our shared responsibility, but rather we are giving utterances in the other direction, no matter what will happen. We are not saying our supporters should rise and attack, but we are saying that the commander-in-chief must give a word. Nanado will not come with a handcuff that I'm coming to arrest you. The leader leads and manages. Everybody, you and I, including myself, he is my president. He gives me direction. This is the way we are going. And that is why there are ministers. There are laws establishing those institutions. If the ministers are operating, Nanado, just as I said, just a letter from the minister for local government designate who represent the president. He wrote the letter saying, oh, minister, listen, the president representative in the transitional committee in charge of local government. That's the way he wrote it. Because of that, tomorrow every chief executive, every metropolitan chief executive, district chief executive, and they are all stopping. So if say should come from the Interior Ministry, we have National Security Coordinator, we have National Security Minister for National Security, we have Minister for Interior, we have about 4 personalities there. So if those things are happening and they act, you don't expect Nanado himself to act, but they represent him. So if they come from the political angle, it will help the security and technical angle so that collaboratively they will put it to an end. When
let me just
that never happens, and it appears that the political system is fighting against the state institutions. Like you say, the institutions are not working. Why would they not work? Political parties are recognized by the constitution. Police institution is also recognized by the institution. So if police are acting this way and political parties are acting that way, do you think that we can have the peace that we are looking for? That is the angle I'm coming from.
It's unfortunate Sir John is not here to defend himself. And as you just alluded to, you and I, we were not there to listen to what he said. But if he said that, it was unfortunate, and I will condemn it. But let me just also tell the leader, yes, I will condemn it. But what I know is that today I've listened to leading members of our party, at least the General Secretary, the Acting General Secretary, and the National Organizer of the party, condemning the act that is going on. And he actually, in that statement, I think he was speaking on Asempa FM, alluded to the fact that the National Security Coordinator that you are referring to, Honorable Kandapa, is behind the scene working on with the security forces. I don't know if you listen to that.
So on this one,
yes. So I'm saying that leading members of our party are out there condemning it and trying to bring sanity.
That's all that we are saying.
And you know, so for once, let's leave Nanado out. You see, I think the NDC, they are not learning any lessons. You were battering on this man, and that led you into opposition.
How can you learn when you are into chased?
Government? You see, you were talking about your brother in 2009.
Okay.
His Excellency Nanado Akufo-Addo, in 2009, he was being chased around. And you were in this country.
So we should use that one to justify
we are not using it. I'm just telling you that he was no less a person. And yet, we all live in this country. And so all I'm saying is that let's move on as one people. And you see, when you keep saying that the president should say that on Saturday, I don't know how much words you expected him to add to the words, inspirational words that he made.
Doc,
you can't even go there.
No,
yes.
Doc, in 2 minutes, how do we make sure that in 2020 or whichever time it is, if
no, in 2020 we are coming back.
Yeah,
in 2020,
I thought
how do we make sure we don't do that?
We don't do that again.
He's directing the question to me, so let me answer first. You let me answer first, yes.
Yeah, how do we make sure that, you know, we never sit here and talk about people, stalwarts, you know, barging into?
It will take a long time between now and the next time there will be opportunity for us to do a transition. Because the
And when it gets there,
the MPP is going to deliver on its promises and will be in power for a very long time, God willing. God willing. We all pray for long
more
life.
than this, but we are here.
Yes, but when we get there, look, the next 4 years, the next 8 years, you're going to see a government that is serious about national security. His Excellency President Akufo-Addo has appointed a national security coordinator, a national security advisor, a minister for national security. That should tell you that here is a man for interior. Here is a man who is talking, a minister for defense, you know, for external security. Here is a man who is so focused in ensuring that there is stability, there is peace in this country, because he knows that the developmental agenda of our party cannot be fulfilled if we don't have peace, if you don't have security. If the individual security is threatened, we cannot deliver on the promise of development. And so the agenda for development is attached to the agenda for peace. It's just like what the UN itself, realized, that you cannot develop without peace. So we are going on that two-pronged, and I'm going to assure you that the next time there is going to be opportunity for a transition, the MPP government that would be handing over power, maybe in 20 years' time, in 24 years' time, would have put in place a police force that is so strong on the ground that they will ensure law and order no matter what we are going through as a country. That much I can assure you, that Nana Addo can give that promise, and he's going to fulfill on it, that he will ensure that there is peace, there is security, there is safety for each and every Ghanaian, for that Ghanaian to benefit from all the good things that this government has come to deliver for this country.
I mean, can we build a confidence in the police who don't care whether parties, political parties are changing, and they can still act? Because you know that as soon as there's any crime and there's any hint of political color or symbol in it, the police just withdraw. Most crimes that are politically inclined, the police will just withdraw. And you're saying, yes, they're very good, because if they have to catch you and it's not political, they will catch you.
Yeah, my brother, I think we are there. We are there.
Are you sure?
You see, I have witnessed two transitions. As for the 2001 transition, I was in Legon, I was in school. So I was on campus, and therefore all those things that happened, we were all witnessing them on TV and hearing them. But I have felt, tasted, and acted and actively participated in two transitions. One was the one that happened in 2009. And I was the MP for time when the third term rerun took place in time. Then in 2016, I was also at the center. I was at Banda. I contested my constituency in Banda because time was divided into two. You see, the police and the military in Ghana, if you are a sitting head of state, when the wind change, they change with the wind and leave you there. And if I'm to go deep and tell you what happened in 2008, Kandapa was the Minister for Defense at that time. He was with President Akufo. They went to Wenchi. They were going to time. At that time, when the military and the police realized that there was a change, they could not even President Akufo or Kandapa could change the police and the military. That's why I'm talking about the effectiveness of the Ghana police and the Ghana military. You could see that, the policemen and the military, I was a politician by then. You could see how those people who were all following you could see that all of a sudden, just in 2nd January at the rerun, and that is why MPP withdrew from the election, that they were not going to even contest, because there was no way the election could be rigged. The national security and the sustainability of the peace was at the paramount point for the police and the military. So the NPP thought, as a party, thought they could do something. President Akufo said, oh, I'm going back. Whoever wins, I'm going to hand over. And the police too were doing their own thing. This 2016, when the wind changed, you could see the same thing happening. So that's why I'm the professionalism of the Ghana police and the Ghana, no politician, when you lose, can control, say that, oh, I will still be, but like what is happening in Gambia and this thing. However, because you are coming to spend your 4 years, you are coming to power, the transition, the police transition themselves, the soldiers transition themselves, and that is what gives some of these party faithfuls to be able to do some of the petty things that they do. But my advice is that if we don't control them, today you call them petty things. My brother, I think in your constituency, Gushegu, in 2000, was it 2012 or 2008? You had your own share when some houses and cars were
it was before the elections.
Before the elections.
Before the elections.
Exactly.
2008, before the elections.
It was 2008, before the elections. Yes. So when those things are happening and those perpetrators are not brought to book, you realize that the peace that we are touting as though Ghana is the beacon of democracy, we are the #1 this thing, we are Ghanaian hospitality, and all those things can be a thing of
in the case of Gushewu, they were brought to book. They were brought to court. They went through the court system. I was, monitoring it. It was rather in Tamale that at Chogo, where your people burnt houses, that nobody was brought to book.
You see, some people burnt houses.
Oh, yes, in 2009. It's not political talk. I'm just giving you the fact. I'm telling you that in 2009, a lot of things happened that nothing was done.
The final list.
Not in Tamale, not in Agbogbloshie. Oh, you keep referring to Eastern Region. I'm telling you Accra here, Agbogbloshie right here. In Tamale,
okay, we won't go back anymore.
Yes, so let's move forward.
The final list
move forward.
Ministerial appointments.
We want you to follow us so that we'll take you to the promised land.
We are ready to support you.
We'll take you to the promised land.
No,
please.
The final list of ministerial appointments have been, and there seem to be a lot. So the general concern about people is that, hold on, it's kind of like ministerial farm growing here. Yeah. What's the party's position?
I'm excited. I'm very excited, and if you are an MPP, you should be very excited about what is going on. And I'm excited because if you are an MPP, because then we hear a lot of things coming from the NDC side. So I have to first address my MPP.
So you are NDC?
I'm not addressing them.
No, this is coming from you.
I'm saying that if you are MPP, don't listen to what the NDC people are saying. You should be excited about this, what is going on. What I don't hear from any NDC, and I want to hear from this leader here, nobody has said anything bad about any of the persons that are being put up. 36, and there's no complaint about any of them in terms of competence. And so whether they are 25, whether they are 36, we are talking about quality of people put out there. You see, numbers are just numbers. What this government and this president is focused on, is value for money. Value for money. He has thought through, this man has been running to become president. This is the third time. And so when he is here, when he arrives and he's doing things, he knows what he is about. Now, the 36 names, he said it today, that 6 will be working out of the presidency. So you are left with 30 ministries. But even what he didn't mention, which I know, is that 2 even out of the 30, talking about the majority leader, who is now a minister, parliamentary minister, and the senior minister, are not going to have standing ministries. So you're actually looking at substantively 28 ministries where you have deputies, where you have staff, not 30. And that brings you close to what we had in the previous election. I think it was 27, ministries put together. So we are going to deliver. And if you go back in time, you will find that even where they didn't have 28 or 30 ministers, they had presidential staffers, presidential advisors, and ministers of state at the presidency. What this government is going to do, and what this president has come to do, is to ensure that for every project, for every unit in terms of our development project, there is going to be a hands-on. He's going to have direct oversight supervisory responsibility and somebody on the ground. And he made reference to
because
SADA.
of time.
I think his reference to SADA tells everything. That it's not enough to just create something and leave it for chances. So he's not giving anything to chance. He's making sure that for any project, and these are huge budgets, Howard Kumson is going to supervise over $275 million budget annually. That is not small change. And so I think that people should look at quality and that there's going to be value for money and not the numbers.
Generally, you may not like it, but is there anything small in there that you may think, well, maybe overall is bad, but this may be good?
He likes it. Overall is good.
Well, if you look at, I'm a leader in parliament. You know, we used to have this Minister for Parliamentary and Presidential Affairs right from the day of this parliament. And at leadership, sometimes, if you're a leader of parliament and you are not a minister, you run into some difficulties. So if you ask me, is there anything that is good about this appointment? That's the first thing I see, that there's a much improvement upon that. But once you are a minister and you are leader of government business, like the majority leader's position, you are able to stand in for the government, for the ministers. Sometimes you lay certain papers. It's not like you want to lay a paper in parliament and you look around and because some of the there's no responsible minister to spearhead that thing, you cannot lay it. If they are deputy ministers, unless you have to beg your colleague on the other side, you crave the indulgence of the speaker and that of the house before you can do that. But once you are a substantive minister, like he is having now, so he will be able to do that. The other difficulty about it is that now you are predicated to the executive. And therefore the executive, your sustainability or durability depends on the wins and capacities of the pleasure of the president. He can decide to say, tomorrow you are no more a minister. That is the other side.
But you still remain.
That's why some.
Oh, yes. And the position is predicated on his being the majority leader.
You bring a new person.
Oh, no. You can't have a majority leader and a minister for parliamentary affairs.
No.
You can have a majority leader in parliament and then a minister for parliamentary affairs. You can't.
Honorable Mutar Bama was a minister for presidential and parliamentary affairs. He was not having a substantive minister.
He was not, yes.
Exactly, he was not having. But on our side, the Honorable Alban Kingsford Sumana Bagwin was not a minister. And therefore, when it came to a point to lay certain papers and those things, there were difficulties. So we needed to call on some sector ministers. But if you put that one aside, you know, in their
30 seconds.
In their manifesto, they promised Zongo Development Fund. So and before you establish that Zongo Development Fund, it has to come through Parliament. So now there's a minister responsible for Zongo affairs. I think that fund will have to come to Parliament.
It's going to be in the next budget.
And when that
it's going to be in the next budget.
And when that fund comes, there will be an administrator for that fund. But once you are establishing a fund, you come through Parliament. And once you do that, there will be an administrator of that thing. You know, there are a series of things that will be done. So he is saying that the minister, and if you look at the minister for the senior minister, then you look at the minister for monitoring and evaluation.
All too soon. That's what time will allow us.
I know he's going to the economic management team. It's a solid economic management team.
That's what time will allow us. I always give you this number, which is 024-366-2001. 024-366-2001. Tantis Fashion, they make my shirts for the show, so I give them a call. But I want to say thank you very much to Dr. Ziblim Idi, MP for Gushegu, and Ahmed Ibrahim, MP for Banda. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And you at home, thank you for watching. Tomorrow we'll be back to do this all over again.
And the police are very good.